So I've never been involved in report writing or incident investigation at all, and so all of this content of this course was entirely unfamiliar to me. So my learning has been huge, but I think what's been really good is it's not been too complex. It's not been something that's so far removed from what I'm used to that I couldn't understand any of it. And actually it was nicely structured so that I can understand the whole process of investigating a serious incident and producing what is a very credible report at the end of it. I think it's a whole new set of skills that I don't know whether you'd find anywhere else.
Certainly from my perspective, I've done reports following investigations, and I was totally unaware of other techniques or tools that I could use to pull things together, which probably gave that more oomph to the report and actually pulled out the root causes, which I may or may not have found so easily. Certainly it's been a real eye-opener for me, and something I'm going to take back, especially around some of the control analysis techniques.
Yeah, I've been a bit scared of getting involved in an investigation or having to write it up. But what I found is all the techniques that we've been shown are things that I'm familiar with, and it's given me lots of confidence now that I can do all of those things. There's no reason why I can't pull all that together and do a report. The other thing that I was concerned about before was having to do it on my own. And actually what I've learned is it's not right to do it on your own, so therefore I would be asking and getting other people involved. And as I manage the risk management service for the service unit, when I go back, I'm definitely going to take a different approach when we allocate out any investigations that are required, to be more involved in those and to try and take the learning to people. One of the things we're criticised as a unit is that we don't share learning. Well, if you start to get more people involved, they don't have to do the investigation, so they don't have to be frightened of it, but it'll give them a chance to see why these things are done, how they're done, and what you get out of it. And I've really got a lot out of it. I've had a few light bulb moments, and it's allowed me to put things that I already know really into the right pile, so to speak, so that I'm not worried about it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been involved in a couple of reports that I've done, and I reflect back now thinking they weren't as great a quality that they could have been, based on, because I didn't have the prior knowledge on some of the skills that we've learned whilst we've been on the course, particularly the fishbone, using the fishbone effectively to get to that root cause, but also things about the statement writing. Is it effective to get statements from people, and informing them of what it is that you're actually wanting from them, and rewording the fact that rather than a statement or a recollection of events, opposed to a statement, so it's not as threatening, because people do feel threatened when they are asked for statements.
What was interesting is that there seems to be no structure or no right way of writing reports, but there are good reports and bad reports. And I think this has made it very, very clear as to what constitutes a well-constructed report that deals with all the issues that you should be dealing with. And it does, I think you're right. I think it does mean that you can go out there and you say, well, actually, I'm not going to do it. I do need a team to do it. It's actually advisable to have a team to do it. And this is what we're going to produce at the end of it, and know that you're going to come out with something that is consistent with good practice, and also, ticks all the right boxes.
And also that, the phrase of a learning review, to me, actually, by framing it that way, it's much more about engaging people who are either involved in the instance or are involved in the process, actually seeing this as a real opportunity to possibly engage more in the investigation, because it's about learning where we can deliver safer and better patient care, which at the end of the day, everybody's here to do is provide the best job they can do for their patients. And by framing it just around a learning review, I think is, for me, something that actually, that's what it is, rather than actually being an investigation because something's gone wrong.
It's not just even learning, it's team building, isn't it? If you're getting all your teams involved. So we have an ideal room actually where we can do things like the picture mapping, put it up on the wall, invite people to come and make their comments. I really like the idea of the post boxes so that people can put things in anonymously, because I do find people are a bit slow sometimes coming forward, and they'll perhaps come and see you after and say, well, I wanted to say this but I felt a bit uncomfortable, so that gets away from that. I like that idea.
And it does give you a real role in your organisation to change practice, doesn't it? Through this vehicle of, and unfortunately we hope it's not a serious incident, but regardless, it allows you to have control over that and enable you as a team to make recommendations going to affect your organisation and improve those standards, rather than come from an external source or an unfamiliar source.
I think it's also that element of how much time it does take to do something well, and not leaving everything to the last minute, and that prior planning and getting people involved early on, and scheduling your process map out on how long things do actually take to complete.
And I think that's going to be a challenge sometimes with some investigators within their organisation, is to get that message across. If you want a good quality report, to get the elements, the root causes out, and some good learning from it, this is requiring investment of either an individual's, but more likely a team's time to actually get a good quality report that actually the organisation will review, actually learn on, and also reduces the chances of a similar event occurring in the future, because you've actually invested up front.
You're right. I mean, we have got time constraints. It does make it difficult to do things how we want to, but I think it would be self-fulfilling, because if you can show that by doing it in the way that we want to do it, it has the results, and those results result in positive change, things not being repeated, wide learning, then who can criticise that? I would think that would be something that the organisation would want to promote, and I would hope that we can take that back and we can actually make it trustworthy.